Welcome to this advanced session on Kubernetes infrastructure. For senior architects and engineers, the challenge of maintaining 99.99% uptime in a microservices environment is no longer about simple vertical scaling. It is about understanding the intricate dance between resource requests, limits, and the underlying hardware. Today, we will dive deep into how you can predictively model your cluster's behavior under extreme stress. We will move beyond basic Hello World tests into complex scenarios involving thousands of pods across multiple availability zones. By the end of this presentation, you will have a blueprint for building a resilient, self-healing infrastructure that can handle unpredictable global traffic spikes while maintaining cost efficiency and high availability for your mission-critical applications. One of the most effective ways to test capacity without impacting users is traffic shadowing. Using a service mesh like Istio or Linkerd, we can mirror 100% of production traffic to a test environment. This allows us to observe how new deployments handle real-world payloads, header complexities, and request patterns without any 0% production impact. This technique provides a safety net, enabling engineers to identify bottlenecks in the staging environment before a single production user is affected. We will examine the configuration of virtual services and the performance overhead associated with sidecar proxies during high-volume mirroring operations, ensuring your monitoring stack is prepared for the additional telemetry data generated during these sessions. Load testing is incomplete without chaos. We must simulate the worst-case scenarios. In this section, we discuss injecting a 30% packet loss and a 500 millisecond latency injection into our service-to-service communication. By intentionally breaking the system, we validate the effectiveness of our circuit breakers and retry logic. We will look at tools like Chaos Mesh and Litmus Chaos to automate these experiments within your CI/CD pipeline. Understanding how your Kubernetes cluster behaves when a third of your network packets are dropped is crucial for building a truly resilient system. We will also analyze the recovery time objective and how the horizontal pod autoscaler reacts when latency spikes trigger increased resource consumption across the cluster. The horizontal pod autoscaler and vertical pod autoscaler often work at cross purposes if not configured correctly. For ultra-scalable systems, we recommend setting CPU target thresholds at 80% to provide enough buffer for sudden bursts. We will explore the recommendation engine of the VPA and how it can be used in off mode to provide right-sizing data while the HPA handles the actual scaling. This dual-pronged approach ensures that your pods are neither OOM killed nor over-provisioned. We will discuss the cooldown periods and how to tune the stabilization window to prevent flapping, where pods are constantly being created and destroyed, leading to cluster instability and increased cold start latency for your microservices. Scaling pods is only half the battle. You must also scale the underlying infrastructure. A robust capacity plan includes a 15% headroom over-provisioning strategy to ensure that new pods have immediate space to land. We will discuss the use of mixed instance types and prioritized node groups to balance cost and availability. By using the cluster autoscaler with expander functions, we can optimize for cost-effective spot instances for non-critical loads while maintaining on-demand instances for the core API. We will also touch upon the importance of pod disruption budgets and how they interact with node drain events during a scale-down operation, ensuring that your 99.99% uptime remains intact even when the cluster is shrinking. To simulate 100,000 concurrent users, a single testing machine is insufficient. We need to deploy a distributed testing rig within the Kubernetes cluster itself. Using the K6 operator or a distributed locust swarm, we can orchestrate 50 test nodes to generate massive synthetic load. This allows us to identify bottlenecks in the ingress controller, the CNI plugin, and the cloud provider's load balancer. We will walk through the process of writing scripts that simulate complex user journeys, including stateful sessions and database-heavy operations. We will also discuss how to monitor the testing infrastructure itself to ensure that the load generator isn't the bottleneck during your 100,000 user simulation. Modern capacity planning uses historical data to predict future needs. By analyzing 90-day historical data in Prometheus, we can identify seasonal trends and growth patterns. We will demonstrate how to use linear regression and AI-driven forecasting tools to predict when you will outgrow your current CIDR blocks or storage quotas. This proactive approach allows for long-term budget planning and prevents emergency firefighting during peak events like Black Friday or major product launches. We will also discuss the integration of Prometheus with tools like Prophet or specialized Kubernetes cost management platforms that provide automated insights into your cluster's trajectory over the next quarter. Efficiency is just as important as performance. Many clusters suffer from zombie resources, pods that are idle but still consuming expensive cloud credits. By right-sizing our requests and limits, we can achieve a 30% waste reduction in infrastructure costs. We will look at tools like Kubecost to gain granular visibility into spending at the namespace and deployment level. We will explore bin packing strategies using the scheduler's affinity and anti-affinity rules to pack nodes more efficiently. This section focuses on the FinOps side of Kubernetes, ensuring that every dollar spent on CPU and memory contributes directly to user value without sacrificing the performance targets we have established in previous steps. For global applications, capacity planning must span across multiple geographic zones. We will examine a configuration across 3 global regions to ensure a latency of less than 50 milliseconds for the majority of users. This involves implementing global server load balancing, GSLB, and multi-cluster ingress controllers. We will discuss the challenges of data consistency and state synchronization when traffic is shifted between regions during a local outage or a massive surge. This active-active setup is the gold standard for high availability, but it requires rigorous testing of the cross-region network backbone. We will also look at how to use topology-aware routing within Kubernetes to keep traffic within the same zone as much as possible to reduce egress costs. As we conclude, the trend is moving toward fully automated site reliability engineering. By integrating load testing into your CI/CD pipelines, every commit becomes a capacity check. We have covered everything from 30% packet loss simulations to 100,000 user load tests. The ultimate goal is a self-healing cluster that adjusts its own capacity based on real-time predictive metrics and automated feedback loops. Remember, capacity planning is not a one-time event. It is a continuous cycle of observation, testing, and optimization. Stay curious, keep breaking things and staging, and build the systems of the future. Thank you for joining this deep dive into advanced Kubernetes load testing and capacity planning.